everyone. So, as we all know, next month is Diabetes Awareness Month, right? And we are doing something special to help people, regulate their glycemic response, and that's why I wanted to share something about or demystify certain myths around type 2 diabetes, right? So when we talk of, type 2 diabetes or pre-diabetes is it's like a last stage of metabolic syndrome. It start developing, years or decades back, right? And a lot of us related to sugar and insulin resistance, right? But what is exactly the root cause, right? It sees insulin resistance also occurs due to certain, biochemical activities happening inside the body, right? And that's what I want to decode so that, we actually adopt the right approach to uh, improve our metabolic health, right? And since we are not addressing this underlying cause, is the reason why 100 million plus people in India are suffering from type 2 diabetes or are at the risk of it, right? So again, there is a role of, I'll say the major role of microbiome living on inside our body, in our mouth and in our gut specifically, right? And then when there's an dysbiosis in terms of there's certain microbes doing um, not optimal function or pro-inflammatory function, then certain microbes doing very less optimal functions or beneficial functions, we do have dysbiosis. So the interaction between the food and your microbiome. So in terms of interaction, I mean when you eat a particular food, right? The substrate in the food, is metabolized by a microbiome and it leads to expression of certain genes, right? If these are virulent genes, these genes can lead to, production of pro-inflammatory compounds, which can, dysregulate your insulin response, right? So essentially, this interaction between food and microbiome creates a situation where first your fasting insulin goes up, right? Then your fasting glucose goes up, and then your HbA1c goes up, right? So the focus has to be on preventing the fasting insulin from spiking at the first place, right? So if you are, tracking your blood sugar level or suppressing your HbA1c levels, the damage has been done, because if your blood sugar level is high, probably your pancreas have become less efficient to release insulin inside the bloodstream to actually, carry all the glucose sources from head to toe, right? And that's why the fuel, the blood sugar level, the blood glucose level uh, spikes, right? And then obviously when you are just not even to understand why it is spiking, one day it is high, one day it is low, and then you actually gets into a situation where HbA1c spikes and you keep on suppressing it, and then you don't reverse diabetes, right? And probably is all myth that by suppressing HbA1c or getting off the medications you have reversed diabetes. You are not, right? So again, the mechanism is, so whatever we eat is first available to our microbes, right? Microbes in the mouth pre-digest the food and make sure that all the nutrients in the food are made available for the absorption, right? And it also send the second function is it also sends a signal to other body parts, including gut microbiome, including pancreas. For instance, if you're consuming something sweet, right, it tells your pancreas to start releasing insulin, and there's a kind of interaction happens. So it is really, really essential to understand the functions we overall in the gut microbiome, right? So first thing is you should focus on regulating insulin response. High protein diets are not going to help. High protein diets will not stop your spike. It may slow down your spike and it may further put pressure on your insulin, right? On your pancreas to release insulin, correct, right? So again, it can create a situation of insulin intolerance, right? So over a longer period of time, right? So so again, having a high protein diet doesn't mean that you're going to, you know, stop your sugar levels spiking, right? So this interaction, it is what we have decoded gene frequency, right? So we actually have built an algorithm which can predict the risk of type 2 diabetes at a molecular level, right? So we have built this is backed by 17 microbial pathways, which covers your biotin production, LPS production, your bile acid metabolism, your glucose metabolism, fructose metabolism, fucose metabolism, GLP-1, PYY, right? Then indole, propionic acid, precursor production. There's such scores which you have considered, which actually determines your risk of type 2 diabetes. However, this doesn't stop here, right? So we also tell you, based on your unique microbiome functional activity, right, whether a food is going to spike your insulin level or not even before you consume it, right? So we give it for 320 plus foods. We bifurcate into, there's no spike, regular spike, medium spike, high spike, or elevated spike, right? And all these are a part of our machine learning model, where we give our nutrition recommendations are based on your biological data. There's no human being or human decision making involved here, right? So you can get to know whether food such as almond is going to spike my blood sugar level or not, sorry, insulin level or not, right? If spinach is going to spike or not, if certain amino acid rich food like phenylketonuria is going to spike or not, right? So there are uh, multiple things what we look at, right? So just suppressing your HbA1c level is not going to help, right? You really need to focus on how do I, regulate my insulin response. And that's why you really need to understand the activities happening at a molecular level, how these foods are interacting with your microbiome, how microbiome is interacting with your human body, with your organs. That is really, really important to understand, right? And that's what we do, right? So for this Diabetes Awareness Month in November, we are going to offer a special discount for all those people who are going to subscribe to our other area at Microbiome solution, right? So this, and again, the diabetes risk and the predictive model of predicting the glycemic response of every food, right, would be part of this. There will be no additional charges for this, right? So stay tuned. We'll be coming with more details shortly. But this is really, really important from the metabolic health perspective, right? Start asking the right questions, understand your insulin response. Do not go for fad diets like paleo, high protein, ketosis, or calorie deficit, calorie counting. Just understand. Do not suppress your HbA1c or blood sugar. Just try to regulate your insulin levels. That's it for today. Have a great day. Thank you very much.